Hey everybody, Jake here from Bearded Gear, and I've got a box to open. And this, it's not a giant box, but it's a heavy box. You may remember, not too long ago, I borrowed a couple of knives from my buddy who goes by YD Knives on Instagram. I'll link to him down below again. And last time I borrowed the Benchmade Anthem, the Benchmade Contigo, and oh gosh, what was the third one? There was a third one. This is embarrassing. I have a review of it. What was it? Oh, the Zero Tolerance 0470. So he reached out to me again, asked if there was anything else that I wanted to borrow. We had already talked a little bit about one of these knives before, and he sent me 4 knives this time. Kind of like last time. I know what most of them are, but there's one surprise. Last time I didn't know the Contigo was going to be in there, and he didn't tell me until after he sent the box that there was even an extra knife in it. Again, sent the box, and then he said, hey, there's also a 4th surprise in there. So I know 3 of the items in this box, but I don't know the 4th. And let's bust into it so I can check them out and get started on having some experiences with these. That way I can jump into a review. I am probably going to have these a little bit longer than 1 week. Last time I had them for 1 week and sent them right back to him. I don't know how to open this box. Helping me out today is the brand new Bombshell. If you haven't seen my unboxing on that, check it out. Actually, by the time that I post this video, my first impressions will probably be live on this as well. Maybe. We'll see. Time will tell. Let's see if I got this at all right. Nope, I don't think I did. I need to open it over here. Good thing I have a knife, right? And I want to use it. So this, by the way, is an excellent example of how to tape and package some knives that you're sending to somebody. Obviously, these are his knives and are going back to him, so he wants to make sure that they're in good condition. But every time that I sell a knife, I try to tape the crap out of the box and stuff the internals of the box so there's not a bunch of extra room so that things can move around and bounce and jumble. This is exactly what you should do. Pack it. Oh goodness, this is a brick of knives. All right. Perfect, perfect. So we've got 4 knives here. They're wrapped up in some pouches and baggies. So let's just go through one by one and check them all out. Let's start with this one, just because it feels right. Let's see what we have here. Oh, sweet. So this is a Spyderco Techno. And I knew this one was coming. I'm actually really excited to see it. What's cool though is I think he got this anodized. It had been modified by the owner before him, and he kind of de-anodized it, and it looks like he must have sanded it too, because I don't think they come this slick from factory. I've never even handled a Techno, but let's see if I can Spidey flick it. Nope, access to that hole just doesn't quite permit it. But man, that is a thick blade stock. CTS XHP. This is a Taichung, Taiwan Spyderco. Interesting. Tiny, stubby little guy. Very cool. I'm excited to play around with that. See if I can't get the mechanics down to, there you go, to Spidey flick it. But do it consistently maybe. Got a wire clip. I dig that. This is really cool. I don't know if this is the factory backspacer. It's like a clear G10. I'm gonna have to dig into this one. All right, so the first knife is a Spyderco Techno. Let's see what else we have. Let's go with this one next. Here we have, oh, interesting. Okay, so this is the surprise knife, if you will. And I've been meaning to check one of these out for a long, long time, which I don't think I mentioned to him, so I don't know how he would have known this, but this is a Cold Steel Code 4 in S35VN. And, okay. So this is, first of all, if you're gonna get a Tanto, get a cold steel. I feel like Tanto is a blade shape that makes sense on a cold steel. I grew up on cold steels. I was from Ventura County, Cold Steel's headquarters are in Ventura, California. I used to go to their parking lot sales. I think they had them every May. I don't know if they still do. If they do, that means I just missed it. Although they probably wouldn't have done that with all the COVID nonsense going on. Anyways, I grew up carrying Cold Steels. I still own a couple of Cold Steels, mostly fixed blades these days. But this is really nice. If you know me, you know I'm not really a backlock kind of guy, but this is really well built. Cool. Super slim too, like really, really slim. I knew it was skinny, but it feels good in hand. All right, cool. So Cold Steel Code 4. That's one I'm actually really excited about. I don't know if that was just a lucky guess of his or if he somehow knew, but very cool, very cool. All right, next we have, let's see what we've got in here. Excellent. This is a Microtech l.u.d.t. And I have been meaning to try out an l.u.d.t. for a very long time now. I've heard so many good things about this knife. I've seen so many people have them and post pictures of them and just talk them up like crazy. I'm not a huge like automatic knives guy. I've owned a few. I'm sure I'll own a few more. In California, you're technically not supposed to carry them, so there's that. But yeah, this is just, it's one of those that has intrigued me for a really long time, and for some reason I've never jumped on one. But there's no good reason why I haven't, because on paper the dimensions and the specs of this knife are super intriguing to me. This one's partially serrated, which isn't what I would pick, but I've got nothing against it. My whole adolescence I always picked partially serrated knives. I preferred it. This is really thin behind the edge. Crazy. All right, yeah, this one's in M390. Birth date is just January of 2020, so it's built this year. Underwater Demolition Team. Very cool. Yeah, this will be an interesting one to try out because it's one that I've wanted to experience for a long time, and that thing is snappy. Wow. It comes out with force. I guess you'd kind of expect that from Microtech, but expectation met. That is a snappy auto. Very cool. All right. Let's see what our last one here is. It's in a Benchmade pouch, and it is a Benchmade. This is a 940. It's already wearing a mini deep carry clip. Kudos to that, for that. The 940 is probably, if not the most iconic EDC knife from Benchmade, it's certainly in the top couple. Everyone knows what the 940 is if they're familiar with Benchmade, and probably just if they're familiar with knives in general. I have handled a 940 a couple of times, just briefly, like somebody else had one in their pocket and I checked it out real fast, or in a knife shop, something like that. But I've never used one, I've never carried one, I've never owned one, which is hilarious because it's such a benchmark, seemingly, to so many people. It's so well known and very well loved, and I've known plenty of people who also don't like it, but so many people laud the 940 as being one of the greatest EDC knives available. So I've been wanting to try one out and see if I need to have one, if I get it or if I don't get it, how much of it clicks for me. And so when I was talking to my buddy, YD Knives, again, thank you, who will be linked on this. This is what sparked this whole round of borrowing knives from him, because he has this one, which is a user, and he doesn't mind me carrying it and using it for typical EDC stuff. So I'm going to have this knife in pocket and do a thorough test run with it. I want to test drive it and see what it's all about, see what it's made of. I've always liked the ergos on the 940. I knew that already from just having it in hand once or twice. I dig how slim the profile is. There's a lot on paper and already in application that I know I like about the knife, but I don't know if it's one that, like so many people will say, the 940 is a knife that every knife guy should own. I've heard that said by quite a few people. Like it's a knife that belongs in just about every collection if you're serious about knives and have a variety of knives and you like Benchmade. Like this is one that you gotta have. We'll see if I agree with that at the end of the time, because I've never really particularly felt, as much as I've been curious about them and I've liked the design. When I first got into knives, I really wanted one, but they were a little expensive for me. I ended up buying some other stuff, and then I kind of skipped over it eventually, and instead of getting one early like I maybe should have, I got past it without having owned one, and then it was like, well, now there's more unique things that are typically what catch my eye. But there's also some knives that are bread and butter knives that are that way for a reason. So we'll see. I'm intrigued by the 940. I like the reverse tanto blade shape. It's ground well. It's a not particularly thin behind the edge knife, but it's just an all-arounder. It's one of those knives that's designed to just be, if you're the kind of guy who owns a knife, one knife, and uses it for all of your knife tasks, and you live a typical lifestyle, then this is designed to be a knife that fits that role, fits it well, and I can see why no one would have complaints about this being the knife that they use for that. So anyway, there will be a first impression coming on this, but this is what sparked this whole unboxing that you've just witnessed. So I am intrigued especially by this one. But we've got 4 knives here, so this is going to be an interesting week or so. I also have unboxed several new knives in the past couple of days, so there's going to be a lot of knives that I need to do first impressions on, need to pack in some experiences with, and then need to review. So luckily, I'm still at home 24/7 these days, unless I'm out hiking or shooting videos. So I will probably just be switching knives a couple times a day and finding a lot of excuses to cut things and process cardboard and just do testing for the sake of doing testing, because I have so many knives on my plate right now that I want to review, and I don't want to take forever to do it. But these are all very exciting. Thank you so much to my buddy l.u.d.t Knives. Again, I will link to him. His Instagram will be down below. And I really appreciate there's people like him who will send me several knives at a time for me to check out and get my hands on and experience and then share with you guys. That's really cool. And I've had a ton of people reach out to me beyond the couple that I have borrowed from who've said they're willing to send me something. And a lot of the time I have to say no, at least for now, just because I have too many things to review at a time. But as soon as things slow down, then maybe some of you who've offered will get a quick reach out from me, and I appreciate anybody who's willing to contribute in a way like this to my channel and to help me make cool content that I hope people will enjoy. Because I think these 4 knives are all knives that people, A, want to see and should see. They're knives that I've been curious about. And even me, somebody who buys and sells and trades a ton of knives, I'm still just scratching the surface of how many knives are out there, and there are so many more knives constantly that are interesting to me that I don't end up buying than I actually do buy. So this is a great way for me to be able to just check out more things and share them with you. So thank you so much, l.u.d.t Knives. I appreciate it, buddy. And yeah, give him a follow on Instagram if you aren't already, and stay tuned, because pretty soon there's going to be some first impressions on all 4 of these and quite a few others as well. So I'll talk to you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it.